can you see this person's perspective, but can you see beyond this barrier that is in front of you right now? And we do get to that place of gratitude and actually appreciation. Now, it takes us refusing to stay in a victim mindset in order to do that.
Welcome in.
Thank you. I was just sending you a text. That was a new way. I don't think we've ever done it that way. And I was like, it's all black. What's happening? Because I didn't see our little.
Well, it took a while, and I was waiting for my little signal that says you are live.
Oh, well.
And so it because we're on several different pages. We're on YouTube, we're on LinkedIn, and we're on Facebook. We're on the book. We're on everything except Instagram, and we do have a page on Instagram because Teri put one on there for us, and we should probably have a TikTok. I said, we were talking about, you have wind chimes going on in the background. I said, well, we can be like those people on TikTok that do Reiki, you know.
That's right. We'll just change we'll adjust our voice and be like, so Devon, how are you?
ASMR in the middle of the day. I'm addicted to that stuff. I'm going to tell you. I'll get my keys out and go. You know? The sounds of those and the bracelets that rattle. I don't know what it is about that, but I mean, when I say addicted to it, I can listen about 3 seconds and I'm asleep.
Oh, wow.
So someone has hypnotized me because I'm out.
There you go.
You know?
Well, that's nice. I don't think I've listened to a lot of ASMR. But I do love in the fall time. One of my favorite, I guess, ASMR kind of sounds would be wind blowing through the leaves.
Oh, yeah. Brain tingles for sure. It's the stuff. It's like, ooh, I love that. Well, we are here, and wherever you are, we want you to start giving us your comments. We love to talk about it. Today, I want to talk about, and I had this conversation with somebody about anxiety and fear. Both of which are tied together. You know, people, excuse me, they're doing some construction where I am right now. And so in the background, you're going to hear somebody putting in a window. So, you know, so we've got all sorts of sounds today, the sounds of the show. But I want to talk about anxiety. There are a lot of people right now who are walking around very anxious because and people say, well, there's never been a more heated time with politics. I said, well, you know, when Abe Lincoln was in office, it was pretty heated. You know, I would imagine that it was pretty scary then. And now, of course, they didn't have the internet to tell you what was going on.
Right. And you had to like get on a horse and drive several hundred miles or ride several hundred miles before you've heard anything. Yes, and most people, if you told them something, they'd be like, whatever. Like, we got to deal with cholera and plague. So whatever. You know,
we got that pesky cholera going on. You know. But and in the 60s, when we were watching the Vietnam War on the show, on the news every night, and it was a lot of unrest, and our world was crazy. And there have been a lot of times when the world is crazy, and anxiety, the depression, when the stock market failed. There are times when you say it's the worst in history. Well, you weren't living in that time. So it's not the worst of the worst of the worst. It's just life, and life happens. I want to talk about the anxiety and get some tools to help deal with anxiety. And usually, then go into fear, which is how that is based.
Okay. Well, I guess the first thing about the tools, and I say this to clients all the time, and sometimes I get this like Chester Cheeto, like, what'd she just say? I'm like, we can talk tools all day long, but if you're going to sit around and complain about it and still go back to the same drama bucket, why are you going to waste your time? Right? So the number one thing I would say is that if people, you know, if we're just going to, in a roundabout, let's just break this down into work, family, and or intimate relationship and social structures, politics, all that kind of thing. 3 different ways to do that. 1, you can't really always run away from your family, but you can set boundaries with them. You can not go to functions that you don't feel like you need to go to. You can listen to yourself. If you're around people who are constantly talking about stuff that is activating for you, then have those hard conversations. Explain to them why you don't want to talk about certain things. And then start setting boundaries for yourself. You have to be, I say you in general, being everyone, we have to be willing to implement those hard conversations. We have to be willing to be uncomfortable for a hot minute in order to get an end game that we're looking for. That same thing goes with work. Also, stepping, I guess my neighbor has decided now they're going to build something in their backyard. So bring it.
We got construction going on. It's crazy.
So, with work, being able to have hard conversations with supervisors or with employees, or, maybe it's something about you're in a work environment with somebody and you're not jiving with that person. Ask to move your desks. Politically, turn your phones off, turn your social media off. Don't go home, get a cozy and turn CNN on, or Fox News. Stay away from the stuff that is unnerving for you. Now, you can't run from everything.
Mm-hmm.
We as well-adjusted, civilized, fairly smart creatures walking the earth can decide what we don't want to be a part of,
mm-hmm.
and pull back as much as we can from those things that are overstimulating, that cause the anxiety inside us.
Right. I know how to kind of, first of all, we got to say some hellos. Michelle Henry is with us and Annie is with us. Hey, Annie, good to see you. Elizabeth is here. Hello. And there's Leslie. And Candy is here. Annie offers having those hard conversations with family are the worst.
It is definitely the most challenging, and it can be helpful and useful if a family member, or when a family member is willing to listen. And if they're not willing to listen, then we have other choices to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Angie's with us too. Hey, Angie. Hey, Angie. Man, all my crew and all our crew is just like in today. This is awesome. So you guys leave a comment, be part of us. Michelle's watching on YouTube. Glad to have you. And everybody else is on the book. But if you're watching somewhere else, be sure to launch in and let us know. I have that kind of weird anxiety that hits, and I've seen the memes on Instagram where somebody's playing drums. It said, and me at 2 a.m. trying to sleep, and there's like this little creature coming out going, that's, because that's when my thoughts start in the middle of the night. And I've learned, like the other night, I just decided I gave up. I came to the office because there was no way I was not going to sleep. I was just in it to win it. It's just like I came to the office and worked till 5:30 in the morning because I was creative. I hit the creative juices, and then I did that. And so my anxiety lessened because I used that time of anxiety to create or to do something. And so I put myself in it because I realized that sometimes the anxiety is not from outside, it's from inside. And I'm trying to find tools to work with that without, and I know, and if anti-anxiety drugs are your way to deal with things, that's fine. That's if you've been prescribed something and you have that issue, and I know it really helps, good on you. It's not my thing, and that's not how I want to do it. And I have tried to find ways to work with that thing that comes up. I call it, it's like it starts bubbling up inside my stomach. It seems like it's like, okay, blah, 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 But I found that creativity and seizing that time really helps.
It does help. Also, it can be useful to not be creative in those moments, because a lot of times what people can do to help lessen that anxiety is to take, to give themselves a window of time during the day or at the evening before you're getting ready to go to bed to start unplugging from things. Mm-hmm. So to have your, not necessarily your hard alcoholic drink, but maybe your tea or your something that feels good, that feels warm and fuzzy for you. Maybe it's hot chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's something like that. Some people don't get too spazzed out on, hot chocolate in the evening, but, you know, things like that. Put music on, turn
Mm-hmm.
TV off, or if you have have TV on something that is laughter inducing for you. Um,
Um,
have things where you're de-escalating the stimulation in your body, because
okay.
what happens is when we go straight from busy work, busy work, food, okay, I'm gonna go to bed now. We go to bed and the body is physically exhausted,
Mm-hmm.
right? The body is tired and the body is like, okay, I've been up, I've given you all my daylight hours, I gotta rest.
Mm-hmm.
Happens is when we do that, the mind then goes, well, you've kept me so busy today, like, we haven't talked about that health issue, or we haven't really thought about that divorce, or we haven't really thought about the holidays coming up, because you kept me so busy all day long. So now that it's quiet, the brain goes, hey, now that it's quiet, let's go. And so all that stuff starts coming up, and then
Yes.
the brain and the body, the body and mind connection are not
Mm-hmm.
connected. So you're not going to get that good night's sleep. What's going to happen is your brain's going to go, and then, and you're going to be up all night, waking up or having really odd dreams or whatever it is that's going on. So finding that caveat that says, okay, I've had my busy day. I know I'm going to bed. How am I willing to usher myself into this next state, and understanding
Mm-hmm.
that we actually do need to wind down in the afternoon, just like when we wake up in the morning. Most people jump up out of the bed, they either wake up and they're like, okay, here we go. And they get up and they go.
Mm-hmm.
It's never a bad idea. And I say this to people all the time. When you wake up in the morning, I'm not saying lay there for an hour, but if that's your jam, knock yourself out. But lay there, stretch your body, like literally stretch
Mm-hmm.
your wrists to feel it, stretch your feet, stretch your body to get your lactic acids moving in your body, and allow your body to wake up. We jump up out of the bed
Uh-huh.
and take off working and running and doing and going and all this stuff. And before we even wake up, we've put caffeine in our body and we've turned the news on and we're on social media. So we are already setting ourselves up to chase ourselves all day.
We program ourselves.
Yeah, we're not in our body when our feet hit the floor. Well, most people aren't.
That's good. That's good. Graham joins us from Australia. Sunshine and gardening is his way, and I love that. Annie says, when my stress or anxiety, she said, by the way, she also says it's every night for her. When my stress or anxiety are high, it causes me to walk and talk in my sleep. Girl, it gets crazy. I try to stay stress-free. Easier said than done. And she adds, when my stress or anxiety is high, it messes with my sleep, and I walk and I talk in my sleep. So, I don't know, sleepwalking. And we were talking about that. Sleepwalking is an issue for some people, and it's very real. Amy is with us today. Hello, ladies. Waiting for car repair. Popped on's been a hot minute.
It has been good to have you back with us.
Yeah. And Elizabeth, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was just talking with Amy yesterday. She's getting ready to, I don't know all the details yet, but she's getting ready to do a book club, a virtual book club. So that'll be fun to get that information out. And when she does get that out, I'll send it out with everybody.
Oh, that's fantastic. Because I always say that COVID was bad in everything, but it did teach us that we can virtually connect.
Oh, absolutely.
And so that's how this show was born. So thank you for some things. Anita's Mangrum Walsh says that she's interested, I think, in the book club. So that's very cool.
Well, we haven't seen her in a while either.
I know. Elizabeth says, no matter what the circumstances, at home or home from an event, I need an hour to sit and unwind with something like Candy Crush or a good book before going to bed. Yeah, those little games, those little brain games and puzzles. Some people do actual puzzles. I mean, I think you do. Don't you?
I do. I love not crossword. I suck at crossword. Well, I shouldn't say I suck at it. I just don't like it. I don't have to guess so much, but I will. I love a seek a word. You give me a seek a word, I can be on a flight for 4 hours and I just do one after the other after the other. I love it because it stimulates my brain, but it stimulates my brain, but it relaxes my brain at the same time. Seeker words are great for cognition, but also just to keep you outside the fray of all the static energy.
I love that. And Graham adds, I thank God for another day. That's a great way to start it. I found this guy on TikTok, and I know I talk about TikTok a lot, but sometimes I did a search one morning and I said morning prayers. And some of them are just goofy. Some of them are that AI voice that thank God. But, I cannot deal with the AI voices. But there was this one guy, African-American guy, that I was just drawn to. There's something very special. And he just hits. And so I start my day and I look for him and I say, what did he say today? And his prayer that starts the day is so special. And I said, I wonder his story. And it wasn't 24 hours before his story. He said, people have been asking me what my story is. And this man was just walking. He was a young man and he was walking to the store one day and a guy came across and said, what are you doing? And just confronted him as a whole gang of guys. And I said, gang, I don't know if they were in a gang or whatever, but it was a mob of guys. And the guy said, what are you doing? He said, I'm going to the store. He goes, no, you're not. And he shot him. Then he stood over him, shot him 7 more times. And he said, I looked up and I saw an angel that was crossed, like with their hands across like that. And every bullet that passed through the angel went into me. But then I went to the hospital and they were working on me and my eyes looked up and the angel was there. And the nurse said, doctor, do you think he's going to make it? And the angel nodded yes. And he came back from it and he survived. And I go, I knew there was something about this guy. It's like he's seen something from another world and he brings this peace to your day. I can't tell you his name for the world, but I somehow get his prayers every day. And it starts with that gratitude. It starts with that thing of, I woke up today. Now what do I do with this?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like Mary Madison. I think it's Mary Madison Morse. She used to say, you've got a brand new baby day. What are you going to do with it?
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
Brand new baby day. What are you going to do with it?
Amy has started. She says embroidery has become my new relaxing. I love that as a tool. There's Lisa Richard from Halifax, Nova Scotia. I have the best wind down time making a HelloFresh meal as soon as I get home.
Mm-hmm.
She's good. I ordered the HelloFresh and then they ruined and I threw them out. But she's so good. She said they're just perfect for her. The recipe is easy to follow and I feel like I'm eating out every night. It's my slow down time that I truly look forward to during the week.
Yeah, I love that.
Cooking for yourself. You make salads that are just works of art, but you enjoy the whole process. You just seem to the chopping of the vegetables and putting it together, making it look pretty.
I think that's one of the things, just like she was just saying, I think that's one of the things that when you take ownership in the process, then the end result is more pleasurable. Mm-hmm. So when you take ownership in creating your HelloFresh meal, you take ownership in creating the salad, you take ownership in, plating it on something that's really, plates that you really like, you take ownership in that, then there is something you've created beauty and now you're putting beauty in you. And I don't mean beauty in the sense of aesthetically, but you've created something delicious, something yummy, something beautiful.
Yeah.
And now you're putting that and you've created it with consciousness, with love, with intention. And now you're putting that inside you. So you're putting that love, that attention, that you're putting that back into you. I think that's a great way of honoring yourself. And also, foods have a lot to do with our anxieties.
Mm-hmm.
We can, I work with a lot of people who will say, oh, I eat pretty good. But I will have like a Monster drink or a Red Bull drink a couple times a day. And, and I'm just like, well, no judgment here, but those things are the very reason they are out and about is because they're to juice you up and get you going. And
Right.
our bodies are not designed to have that much charge going through them all the time. We have gotten away from actually living to just existing. And,
Mm-hmm.
and our body knows what we need. And we don't, when we don't listen to that, there's hell to pay.
Ooh, yeah.
Get anxious, we'll get digestive issues, we'll get, sleep disorders, we'll get all sorts of things going on with us. And so, we have to be willing to slow down a little bit. And we unfortunately have all participated in a society that it's just go, 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 go. And it's we can't wait to the next thing. We can't enjoy where we're going now because we got to look to the next thing. And nothing.
That's right.
I always use the example of in July when they start putting the Halloween stuff out, and then in September when they start putting the Christmas stuff out, or October, because we live in a consumption based thing, and we don't slow down enough to appreciate where we are and what we're doing in those moments. And when we don't do that, or we pepper our, well, every once in a while I slow down, and it's like every once in a while is not good enough.
Right.
Life is too short not to enjoy creating a healthy life, and life is too long to live an unhealthy one.
You're right. Angie says, I do diamond painting to relax and get out of my head. And Annie also says, I picked up diamond art again, hoping it helps me relax at night. I love that. And Carolyn, my friend Carolyn Swilly, joined us from Oklahoma. I love that. Lisa responded, I really do enjoy the process of the cooking the HelloFresh meals and trying to make it look like the picture on the recipe. It's art to me when I start to eat it.
I love that. I love that.
That's really nice. Really nice. Elizabeth says, Lordy, this year I saw Christmas the third week of June at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And there's Shar. How are you, girl? Hello. Good to have you guys all here. We're talking about anxiety today and getting some tools. And I'm going to go over them. I'm writing them down. There is something about the creativity, and I realize that not everybody has their creative spurt like me. About 10 o'clock is when but I'm a nocturnal person. It's no worries about me getting up on a force, because I was forced to do morning radio for a long time because that was my job. So at 4 o'clock in the morning, I had to get up and start my day with this huge adrenaline rush. And I ended up at the doctor's office one day, and he said, that you need to consider a new job. I said, well, he said, this is totally against your clock. And he did the pressure points. He was a kinesiologist, and he did pressure points. And I screamed when he touched the adrenal things. He said, you have burned your adrenals out. I was doing a pot of coffee every morning. It was awful. And it was, it was fun. But I became a true adrenaline junkie. It's just, I had to have that adrenaline rush. Now I've kind of gotten, it's like, I'm back on my clock. So get back to creativity. I think when you have a job that doesn't allow your creativity, the anxiety comes from not enjoying your creative side, because everybody, no matter who they are, even if it's paint by number, that's still a creative force of even painting by number. That's still creative. And I think everybody needs a creative outlet. I think that is a beginning of anxiety for a lot of people, is not having a creative outlet.
Well, on a creative outlet, there's no reason why none of us should not have a creative outlet. There's coloring books and crayons. Mm-hmm. There are, you can lay on your back and look at the clouds in the sky and pick formations out. We make creativity, because of the DIY world we live in. Creativity, now our creativity is judged by how good we are. Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's not it at all. I've got a box of sidewalk chalk, and I love going out, and I've got people that walk the neighborhood, they walk the dogs, they stroll their kids ride the bikes. I go out every few, couple of times a week, and I'll just write messages. I'll draw flowers and I'll write messages. And then, it just, because you're letting yourself be creative. Maybe it's, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, those things are creative. Candy Crush is creative. It's all, you're using your brain in a different way. Now, creative can also be designing wedding cakes. The levels of creativity are completely subjective. So it's not like it's just a one and done for everybody, but also there's this, we do a detriment to ourselves when we start to become creative, and then we start to judge our creativity.
Ooh, absolutely.
Because then we're just really adding more to the anxiety. We're doing something to diffuse the anxiety, but we're also adding back to it.
Yeah. If you can just do it. Candy says, I'm still painting, enjoying to relax. Candy Seaton. And by the way, I like to always say that she does tapping, which is a modality of healing and self-regulation that is just fantastic. And you follow Candy's page because she is just awesome. Elizabeth says, I recently had someone tell me I have a peaceful vibe. And I think it's because I really do take time every day to allow myself to relax. If I don't, I can be a hurricane.
Yeah. It's important. It's important to take that time to ground. I have people joke all the time because when I did sessions in my office, many times I wouldn't have my shoes on because I love to walk around outside without my shoes. I'm sitting here right now, I don't have shoes on. Now I'm on a deck, I'm not out in the grass, but I will be out in the grass shortly. And there's something about being able to ground yourself.
Yeah.
If only for just a minute, just being able to ground yourself feels good. Barefoot in the grass. Hey, Sean is with us. Hey, Sean, West Virginia, checking in. Christmas lights are already up at Home Depot, and I will tell you, I'm glad that they keep up. I am that person that the song was written about. Keep my Christmas lights up there all year long. I love lights and little twinklies. So Annie says to Elizabeth, I'm ready to put up my tree, but Kelly said no way. Hey, if it's your time to put up tree, and Char has her tree up all year. Yeah. My aunt used to have her tree up all year. She just loved it, and it brought her joy. And that's the thing, is if it's in your house and it brings you joy, leave it up all year. Who cares?
And at Monell's, my favorite restaurant in this whole town, Monell's is so funny because they had a tree. Instead of taking it down, they just decorated it for the season. Back to school, they had little pencils and crayons and stuff hanging from. It was the cutest thing ever. So every season, and people started bringing in little things to hang on the tree for different seasons. Char, and Annie says, Char, if it brings you happiness, then yes. Lisa says, as a chiropractor for over 26 years, it's helpful to try to keep finding your balance mentally, physically, and spiritually, and enjoy the journey trying to figure it out. Easier said than done some days, and that's okay.
It is, but very good point that it's not, we hear a lot of people say, well, I just need to figure out what it is. But again, it goes back to that thing that I said earlier. You can figure out what it is, but you have to be willing to implement it. We know by human beings, we're pretty smart for the most part. We know what we need to be doing, right? We know we need to get rest, eat healthy, keep good company, set boundaries. We know all this stuff, but it's more than recognizing what it is we can be doing. We need to look inside ourselves to figure out if we're willing to start doing that. Until we're willing to start doing it, we will have all the tools and we still won't do it. And then we get into this self-sabotaging and this mental emotional blame shame game. And and it's like, well, I know I need to be doing this. And it's like, when I hear people say that, I know I need to be doing this, I'm like, forget need. Do you want to? To do it.
I saw an old video. I think it was Louise Hay, and she said should is a word she would like to take out of the vernacular. It just like take the word out. Should, she said, it just destroys so much in us. I should do this, but no, you get rid of the should. Elizabeth says, yes, we all need something that's creative for ourselves. I've got a business finance day job. I need my creative time. Sometimes it comes out in repainting some room in my house. Oh my gosh, I had my years of painting. There were a lot of New Year's that instead of going out, I would just go paint a room because it made me feel new to start January 1st with a new color to a new room. And I would get a decorating magazine and a picture that I liked, and I would tape it to the door and I would copy that room. And I realized somebody says, well, it's copy and that's not creative. And I said, well, it's creative to me because I was going and finding the stuff and, because I like to thrift it and garage sale. And if I could find stuff that kind of sort of looked like that room, I was like, yay. And he says, that's why I redecorate my house so much and rearrange the house and move furniture around. Yes, that's always good. And Graham says, playing guitar and writing songs helps me. And now sharing this with veterans through Guitars for Vets Australia. Oh, brilliant.
Nice. Yeah.
Suzanne is watching. Hey, Suzanne, it's good to have you today and checking in. Elizabeth adds, I'm grateful because I do recognize that I'm single, no kids, so no responsibilities to immediate family member activities or needs. And same. And sometimes that's very helpful. I do find that it's very challenging when you have other people to consider in your people group under your roof.
It can be, but also we have to understand that we can create pockets of time to take care of ourselves, no matter how many people you're taking care of. That's just fact. We create time to go to the bathroom. We create time to be on Facebook. We create time to be on the phone with people. We create time to fret, to worry, to complain. We can use that same time to say, you know what? I just need 5 minutes. I'm going to take 10 minutes and not have to justify it, not have to excuse it away, not have to, oh, please don't be mad at me because I'm just taking 10 minutes. No. We busy ourselves with busyness because it makes us feel good. For the most part. Most people will say, I'm so busy. And at the end of the day, it's because they want to. They are programmed, imprinted, not designed, but programmed and imprinted to stay busy because it adds to their value, to their self-esteem, to their identity. Nothing says that we care about ourselves more than taking time to take care of yourself. That is a very beautiful trait to have as an individual. Now, a lot of people will say, well, if you just take care of yourself all the time, you're just being selfish. Bring it. I'm glad to be selfish. If it means that if I take care of myself and I have more time with the people that I love, I'll be selfish all damn day long. If I get to have more time with the people that I love and do the things that I enjoy doing, yeah, absolutely.
Karen, hey Karen, just weighing in. I love so many new people that we've seen. I love that you guys are being vocal because I know a lot of you join us every time and you don't say anything. That's okay too. You don't have to say anything. And I realize that not every comment comes to me here, but Karen says, my Christmas tree stays up and I decorate it for Mardi Gras. Then I take it down. If it makes you happy, just do it. To feel disconnected is just not what I choose to feel anymore. I love it. And last comment, because we're running late. I do stay busy when I need to, Elizabeth says, but I'm definitely all about not doing shit if I don't feel like it. Thankfully, I don't mind if I have stacks of paper sitting on the coffee table or groceries not put away sitting on the counter. And it's all okay. You get to, this is your life. This is your book. How are you going to write it? Really?
Well, but here's the thing with that. It is an individual's book, and how are they going to write it? But one caveat that we don't talk about is that from the time we're born, we're dependent on other people. And we learn to show up. And a lot of times people's value system is, well, I hear parents say, I hear them tell their kids, you make me so proud when you do this. You make me so proud when you do that. Well, I know we live in a politically correct kind of world at times, but there's also something about asking your kids, are you proud of yourself? And also looking at yourself in the mirror and asking you, are you proud of am I proud of who I am? Am I proud of what I'm doing? Those bring a level of inner peace that take away some anxieties from time to time where we feel like we just can't do enough. I said to somebody the other day, a client was talking about something, and I said to them, you can mirror yourself up against everybody else in the world, and if you are trying to be somebody in order to impress or make other people happy or make other people feel good or make other people this and this and this and this, you will end your life feeling like that has often not been reciprocated back. If we are constantly trying because our identity is based on it, we're going to be feeding anxiety. If we're doing things because it brings us joy, that's a little different. Well, it's actually a lot different, but getting into the, doing the things that help lessen some anxiety, and also, being aware that what you put in your body, from food to clothes, to the energy that you take in from the people around you, all of those things affect us.
Well, as we come to close, these things came up in the show today in our tools. Be willing to be uncomfortable. Have the conversation. If someone is bringing the anxiety to your door, give yourself de-escalate time. Start your day by stretching, moving, feeling your body. Relax and stimulate with games, things that can work with your mind, but relax you if that's your thing. Allow yourself creativity in your life. Give yourself the gift of good nutrition. Take time for grounding. Stand barefoot in the grass. Be willing to make the changes you know that you need to make. And last, give yourself the question, are you proud of yourself? Those were the tools that we got today. I decided we get so many tools, so I just started to take notes. And so you give us so many notes that we can always go back and watch these shows. You can always go back and watch them because they stay up. But sometimes people watch on the replay, but we have good stuff that comes up, and a lot of you guys give us really, really great tools. And so we love when you share too. And thank you guys for being so active today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I know that, fall is a time of year that, we can start to feel that the wheels start spinning a little faster and faster and faster because we have holidays coming up. We have, people have to get their home winterized or whatever it is that people are doing. And so allow yourself to just slow down a little bit. Allow yourself to actually be in life and be in love with life. Have a relationship with life. So, and that, that does mean just checking it. Check it before you wreck it. I say to people all the time, check it before you wreck it, because if we're not mindful, we'll wreck it. And then we'll be anxious about that.
True.
It just perpetuates. So, yeah.
Well, that's it for a show. And thank you guys. And thanks for all the people. Suzanne, thanks for the cheers. And we cheer you right back. And Char, thank you so much. Everybody is. Nanette just joined us. Hi, I need to unload the U-Haul. we all got our stuff. We all got our stuff.
We all have our stuff. I mean, I was out the other day, and I'll say this real quick, and then we'll wrap it. I was out the other day, and I didn't have my glasses on, and I was looking for some new cheaters because I don't have a prescription for glasses, but I do have readers. So I went into this store, and it's the store we love, the dollar store thing, and I found just several really. I don't go for like the aesthetic. I go for what they look like, if they're pretty and they're nice colors and that kind of thing. Well, I didn't have my glasses on, Devon. So I was walking through this store at that little counter thing, and I wear the 125s or the 150s. Mm-hmm. Girl, I'm standing up there and I'm like, I can't really see these, but I like the way these do. And I found these cute little things. Look at these.
Oh,
I love them. Right.
I got a pair of those too. Okay.
Girl, they're 250s.
Oh,
I can't wear a 250. You know why? I brought this out here just to show you, because while I was walking through the store without my glasses on,
you saw the
150. I was like, oh, that's what I need, the 150. So I got like 5 pair of the 150s.
Of the curl up ones, yeah.
Well, they're 175s, they're 200, they're 225s. I got them for everybody with any vision issue, but I don't have any that I can wear. So I'm going to put my dang glasses on. I'm going to go back and get me some 125s and 150s. So,
well, I got those very kind, the fold up kind. I said, well, that's just the neatest thing in the world. And trying to get that little piece of plastic off that holds them together and holds them to the card, I broke the glasses. So I said, well, I just get the ones that are easy to get into.
Yeah, well, these remind me of a little praying mantis. I don't know why.
I love those glasses. It's a great idea.
Or it's like a little frog. You know, I just like them. They make me happy. Okay, so I guess we are going to call this a wrap. So whatever you guys are doing the rest of your week, please be cognizant to create little tiny pockets or big, huge pockets to take care of yourself, to check in, start making maybe some small lists of things that you feel you no longer should do, because we don't want to should all over ourselves. It gets messy, and things that you want to start doing, and give yourself permission and not pressure to tackle the whole list, but just start introducing new things in and balancing out some of that anxiety, balancing out some of that other stuff. Because one thing that we do know is that with every season in life, it brings, there comes blessings and there comes obstacles. And if we're not mindful enough to pay attention to the blessings, the obstacles will take precedence and they will take center stage. So creating that balance in your life is real important. And it's a necessity in order to actually live life, not just get through it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that to say, we will see you guys and gals next Wednesday. And until then, everybody say it with me.
Increase the peace. Okay. Bye, everybody.